You're listening to LCC Alumni Stories, a show dedicated to highlighting the amazing alumni of Lansing Community College. I'm Steve Robinson, president of LCC, and on each episode I have the awesome privilege of getting to know one of our many inspiring alums and hearing about their experiences at and since leaving LCC. The LCC alumni community is expansive and far-reaching. They're an incredibly diverse group of people, representative of all walks of life, working in hundreds of industries across the country. LCC Alumni Stories shines a bright light on alumni who make positive contributions to their communities and showcases those who've overcome obstacles and barriers to achieve academic and personal success. These are their dynamic stories. My guest today is Marta Herrera-Zamora. She came to LCC in 1999 and obtained 2 associate degrees from LCC before continuing her education at MSU, where she achieved her bachelor's degree in molecular biology. She currently works for the state of Michigan as a quality analyst. She's a mom of 2 and a native of Cuba. Welcome to the show. I'm so happy to have you, Marta, and I'm excited to hear about your experiences and share them with your audience. Now, when you came here, you were originally in medical school, right? What brought you to LCC?
Well, Lansing Community College was very friendly. It was also socially integrated. There was a lot of people from different backgrounds. And that was one of the things that led me to Lansing Community College to fulfill my dreams and my aspirations. I came from Cuba with nothing but a backpack full of dreams.
A backpack full of dreams.
Yes.
I love that. Tell me about those dreams.
Well, back at home, I finished the first year of medical school. Because of differences in political ideologies, my family was persecuted, and I came to the United States as a refugee.
Right.
My brother had a vision early on in his life to leave Cuba, and 7 years later, we were able to reunite. And then at the age of 19, almost 20, I decided that I had to continue. How bad do you want to continue with your education? Being persistent, perseverance. And here at LCC, I found amazing teachers and resources that helped me shape my dream. Lansing Community College, there are places that leave a permanent impression on people's lives, and LCC was there for me.
Oh, that makes me so happy. So you get here from Cuba, which is not close to Michigan, right?
No.
How do you make the jump from Cuba all the way up to Michigan?
My brother was here.
Okay, so your brother came here.
My brother came here first. He wanted to learn English, and he knew that coming up north, in Florida, we have a huge community of Cuban families.
Right.
But it's sort of like being in Cuba all over again. And he wanted to experience something different.
Right.
I know this may sound a little bit silly, but we love the snow. It was something different.
You love the snow.
Yes.
Wow.
Cuba is tropical.
Right. Well, I have friends at the community colleges in Florida, particularly in Miami, right?
Yes.
A lot of Cubans in Miami.
Yes.
But you love the snow. What attracted you to the snow? There's no snow in Cuba.
Different.
It's different.
Something new that we have never experienced. And then I wanted it to learn English well, even though it was something that I had learned back at home. The minute I came here and I heard someone speaking in English, I'm like, oh my goodness, they speak really fast. Will I be able to do this at some point? Wow. So I started here. Amazing counselors. They told me you should take English as a second language before you initiate your career choice. And that's what I did. And, it has been an amazing journey.
So I don't want to make any assumptions here, but I'm guessing the Cuban community in Miami, it's probably easier to go about your day not speaking English in a place like Miami, and maybe harder to do that here in Michigan. Am I right about that?
You are correct. But a lot of younger individuals that come from Cuba, somehow they integrate in society in a way of working. And they somehow forget about fulfilling their full potential and dreams.
Okay.
And for me, it was important to continue with my education, even though I have left at a point in my life where I was ready to become a professional physician. My life turned upside down. And for me, it was positive outcome resolution. What can I do at this point in my life to continue to parallel my dreams and continue to do something positive regardless of all of the negative things that are around? So in a very short period of time, I decided, well, Lansing Community College has a path, and there is a journey and a trajectory that I want to follow. And this is where all my dreams started. You know, I always, and it is a message that I pass to my children, my nephew, who is currently at Central Michigan University.
Excellent.
On his way to becoming an amazing engineer. And anyone that I come in contact with, I tell them, I came here as a refugee with nothing. And if I was able to make it work, there's no reason why you cannot dream too.
That's such an inspiring story, and thank you for sharing that with folks who might want to come to Lansing Community College or anywhere to pursue their higher education. Before we talk more about your time at LCC, I'm interested in these last 20 years, coming from Cuba as a refugee with your backpack full of dreams. Tell me a little bit about the Cuban community in mid-Michigan. There must be other folks from Cuba in this area. Do you know many of the folks in that community, and what's that community like here?
Well, I used to work at St. Vincent Catholic Charities.
Okay, sure.
Refugee services. So I know I used to help resettle many refugees in the Lansing area.
Really?
Yes, from Cuba, from many countries of Africa, Congolese, families from Vietnam. The Cuban community here is relatively small.
Okay.
People tend to come. They like to integrate in society, work, contribute back to society in many ways. But unfortunately, the weather is a big detriment for them. And then
not everyone's like you, right? Not everyone wants snow.
Yes, and then they return back to climates that are similar to back at home.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's interesting to me. So you helped refugees move to mid-Michigan before you got the role that you have now.
Yes. For 10 years, I used to work as a refugee resettlement manager. And essentially my job was helping, to relocate families that come from all over the world, It was a very humbling experience because I get to meet people from different backgrounds. I remember at the time when I used to work at Refugee Services, there used to be a program called the Sewing Circle, where...
Sewing circle, like needle and thread?
Yes.
Okay.
So essentially, we have to help families that come from other countries gain employment and become self-sufficient in a very short period of time at the time. And at the same time, these are individuals that have unprocessed trauma. There are families that spent many years in refugee camps that were persecuted for their religious belief. So we had to find a way to bring cohesiveness.
Yes.
And even though you could have an Iranian family or a family from Afghanistan, a family from Cuba, these ladies were not able to communicate each other because of the language barrier. But somehow, by coming together and sewing, it was a healing process that was taking place at the same time.
Wow, so that's a cultural element that was common among all these cultures, was sewing and dealing with that unprocessed trauma.
Yes.
It was a way to take a shared experience and help them deal with that.
Correct.
What a great story.
Yes, and there were many professionals. St. Vincent Catholic Charities, this is an amazing place that have changed the life of many people, and I was one of them, not only by at the time when I worked with them, but also it was transformation of events that took place that, helped me and at the same time helped many families achieve their dream in many ways.
Oh, that's great. Now, Marta, you are now working as an analyst for the state of Michigan. Talk to me a little bit about what you do in your role and what kind of, I'm assuming you're doing testing and analysis. Talk to me about that.
Well, actually, I work as a quality assurance analyst for the disability department.
Okay.
So somehow, when you have a basic understanding of biology at a molecular level, it helps you understand how the body functions at a micro level and the impact on different body systems.
Okay.
So I'm currently working, I have been with the state government for a little over 14 years.
Okay.
And initially, I was working as a disability examiner, and then I transitioned into becoming a quality assurance analyst. It is an amazing career where you interpret policy to make sure that individuals that are disabled are able to receive disability.
So you're making sure that those disability benefits are administered properly and that everything's going the way it's supposed to.
Correct.
Well, that's work you're doing for all of us here in the state of Michigan. I really appreciate that.
Yes, and it is my way to contribute and give back to this amazing community that 24 years ago became my home.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now let's pivot to a little bit about your time here. You mentioned that not only did you learn molecular biology at LCC before going to Michigan State, you also learned English here. Tell me a little bit about what it was like to be a new student here in 1999 when you came here.
Initially for me it was intimidating, but then because it's a new country, it's a new culture, and you have to find ways to learn and adapt. At the time, in the Multicultural Center, I remember Raul. I don't remember his last name.
Okay, we could look. We could find out. Yeah, so Raul helped you.
Yes. Dr. Magnus Campbell and many other, individuals within the college were very supportive. I remember taking the last courses for English as a second language. And it was a fantastic journey. It was sort of like, you know how they say, it's not important to have knowledge, but the application of knowledge is what makes a difference.
Exactly.
And I had teachers here that helped me to, cross that wall.
I love hearing those stories because that's one of the great strengths of Lansing Community College and community colleges in general is the people. We're all here because we love stories like yours. We want to help and contribute to success. And it sounds like so many LCC people helped you be successful, not just with language, but also with biology. Now, tell me a little bit about that transition from LCC to MSU. Did you feel like you were set up with good skills and good knowledge from LCC when you went over to Michigan State? What was that like?
Most definitely. Lansing Community College, you tend to have a smaller classes size.
Right.
One-to-one interaction with professors, and it truly better equipment with the skills that were necessary when I had to transfer into a huge campus.
Yes, it's a lot bigger, huh?
Oh, Lord. I remember when I was sitting on my classes here, whether it was biology or organic chemistry, the interactions that I had with my professors versus when I had to transfer to Michigan State University and I was sitting on a chemistry class and there were 300 students.
Right.
And I had to answer to a quiz with a clicker.
Oh, really? So you had a clicker?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And by coming here, it truly made a transition. It signaled before on my trajectory and the end of my trajectory at MSU. It truly made a difference for me.
Well, that's wonderful. And so your degree from Michigan State is in what?
I have a dual major.
Oh, tell me about that.
It is in biology.
Okay.
And as well environmental plant biology. So I is very versatile. So yes, I understand about human biology as well as plant biology and botany.
Okay. Did
Yes.
you, when you were at Michigan State, did you interact with any other students from Cuba or who had been at LCC or no?
Actually, one of the things that I miss a lot when I went to Michigan State University was the fact that there were not students from minority communities like me.
Really?
Here at LCC, I was able to, for the lack of a better word, find more individuals with a similar background like me.
Okay.
I felt more like home. Going into MSU, it took me a while to find my place within, the campus. I was the only Hispanic student on my year when I graduated from Michigan State University.
Really?
In 2004.
Wow.
2006, yes.
So I find that fascinating for a couple reasons. One is, first of all, we have a shared experience. I was a student at Michigan State. It's huge, right? It's huge, and it's not as diverse as a community college. So that's thing number one. But thing number two that fascinates me about what you just said is, and I want to make sure that I'm hearing you right. If I hear you correctly, a place like Lansing Community College with more diversity, smaller class size, might be a better choice for a student who is new to the United States, who's emigrated here, than a large college. Am I right?
Correct, 100%. You receive the one-on-one support that you need. Collaboration from different teachers. You have to understand that there have been a physical transition that have taken place for a person. You're coming from a complete different country.
Right.
You are immersed into a new society, trying to, integrate yourself.
Right.
And learn the language, learn the culture. There are ways of doing things. And here at LCC, because it is a closer knit community, you are able to do that.
Well, that means a lot to me for a couple things. First of all, I'm really glad that helped you, and it sounds like it really set you up for success. We have a team of folks here at the college who are thinking about how to attract more international students like yourself. And sometimes people in other colleges, in other countries, they have not heard of a community college. They only hear about universities. Like in Cuba, I would imagine some people have heard of Michigan State University, but maybe not Lansing Community College. So what would you say to an international student, someone who's just arrived in Michigan, to persuade them to come to LCC?
I would tell them it is an amazing college with great professors. It is a place where you can make your dreams come true. You will receive the one-on-one assistance that you need to succeed. The school have the tools and the methodologies and the implementation for getting you to where you need to go. It's not a place where you easily get lost. There are millions of people here, literally speaking, that will make sure that you are successful, that they will help you to trace back to whatever it is you wanted it to be, your future, your goal. So
that makes me so happy. I couldn't have said it better, and it makes me especially happy when I think back to your backpack full of dreams. It sounds like you brought your backpack here and you were able to make your dreams happen.
Correct. And even now that, well, at a personal level, I am happily married.
Yes.
I have a very supportive husband, and my girls, Catherine and Milana, and I want them to learn and to, as much as they can from me. Anything that I do in my life is a legacy for them. And I want to send that positive message as well to younger generations in the community. No matter what you're going through, you have to find a way to transform whatever negativity it is, whatever life put you through, and convert that into a flow of positive energy to continue with your dreams.
That is so wonderful. I have to share something. First of all, our radio listeners can't hear this, but your family is here with us right now. Your husband and your daughters are here, and they've been so well behaved. I'm waving at them right now. Great job. But I do want to share with you, we just came back from a conference, our trustees conference, and the theme of the conference was community colleges transforming the lives of families.
Yes.
And that's exactly what you just said. LCC made an impact on you, but not just you, your wonderful family that is sitting here with us today.
Yes, 100%. 100%. It is, I become emotional because life goes by fairly quick.
Oh, yes, it does.
And time is limited. So you have to make sure that you invest your time wisely. We are all born with an intent and purpose to do great things and contribute back to society. Not only at the state of Michigan, I try to, provide back to my community as a quality assurance analyst, but also I speak another language. So whenever I'm able to interact and provide interpretation or translation services, for legal and medical purpose, I am able to do that. So I would like to send a positive message to everyone out there that is thinking, can I do this? Yes, you can. You just got, find the strength within you to keep going.
I get emotional hearing you say that. That's incredible. Maybe you could invite Spanish-speaking listeners right now to come to LCC. Do that in Spanish.
Bueno, pues yo invito a todas las personas que hablan español y que están pensando si pueden o no hacer sus sueños realidad. Y yo los invito de la misma manera en las cuales yo fui capaz de hacer mis sueños, que busquen esa energía dentro de ustedes mismos para seguir adelante y transformar sus vidas de una manera positiva.
Gracias. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Marta, this has been a wonderful conversation. I've really enjoyed talking to you, and thank you for bringing your lovely family with you. We're very proud to have you as part of the LCC alumni community.
Thank you for having me here.
LCC Alumni Stories is recorded and produced by Steve Robinson on LCC's downtown campus. The soundtrack, Who Told You, is licensed through DeWolf Music and was performed by Ian McCanty. Thanks for listening. To learn more about our alumni and what they've been up to, go to lccconnect.org. And if you're an LCC alum and want to share your story with me, send me an email at steve_robinson@lcc.edu. Until next time, keep learning. This is LCC Connect on WLNZ 89.7 FM.